Hello, fashion lovers. Welcome back to my channel. And today it is how to set the price for your ready to wear business, your clothing brand, your custom made, the right prices for it. All right, so make sure you hit the subscription button, hit the likes button, and drop a comment on the comment section. I want to see your comment on the comment section. All right, now starting a clothing brand or ready to wear business is exciting, it is fun, but pricing your clothes, your wears correctly can make or break your business. Many fashion entrepreneurs fall into two traps, and one of them is either pricing too low and without making a profit, or they are pricing too high and scaring customers away. The truth is, profit doesn't come from making beautiful clothes alone. It comes from smart costing and pricing strategies. This video, I will be breaking down how to cost your dress, your clothing, the right pricing method to apply, and choose a strategic pricing that will ensure your ready to wear business is profitable and competitive. All right. Whether you're a small scale designer or you're working from home or you're an upcoming ready to wear business brand aiming for retail, these steps I will be sharing in this video is realistic, it is effective, and it is achievable. Now, before continuing, there are things we need to understand. The importance of pricing, the importance of calculating your cost, your pricing. It is very important. And one of the reasons why you should make sure you calculate your cost is profitability. One of the reasons you should calculate your price, the price you sell your goods, is for profitability. Your pricing determines if you can cover cost and still have money left to receive or to reinvest or to pull back into the business. That is profit. Another reason you should consider your costing, all right, is positioning. The price of your clothes communicates value. A dress sold at, let's say, $2,000, or maybe it is sold at 1.5 million naira as your brand, is completely different from a dress that you sell at 20,000 naira or maybe $20. Okay, they are not the same. It communicates value. All right. Now, the third reason why you should, do this is sustainability. Without proper pricing, your business won't survive long term. Fashion involves hidden costs, trade, packaging, delivering, photo shoot, marketing. If you don't price correctly, you will lose money silently. Customer perception. Customers often associate price with quality. A too low price make customers doubt your, the worth of your clothes, the value of your clothes. Thinking of pricing as a mathematics problem or marketing tool, you must balance your cost with how your brand wants to be perceived. Now, these are the four main reasons why you should consider costing your price before you don't just go and set price. You need to cost it. Okay. Now, there are basics. Before you cost, there are some costs. We know we have different types of costs. We have direct costs, we have overhead costs, and we equally have labor costs. So you need to know all these costs and where they come in fashion, in your fashion business. All right. And I will be treating these three courses, all right, each of them and where to place them before we go down to the final setting of the way you calculate your price. Because what I'm doing so far is for you to understand that Costing is not just about plus, plus, plus. There are things you should put into place when considering your cost. Okay. Now, one of them, like I said earlier, is direct cost per garment. That garment you're trying to sell, that gown, that skirt, that shirt, what are the things you use in making it? And when we come under direct cost, one of them is fabric and materials. All right. You can talk when we are talking of direct cost, we are talking of lining, we're talking of fabrics, we're talking of zippers, buttons, interface, thread, tags, label, everything that is on that your dress, everything that it takes for that dress you're looking at, the dress you're trying to sell. What the direct cost is what connects to redirect. These are the things I just listed. To the extent the poly bag you use in packaging it and selling it out to people, it's equally included in your direct cost. The thank you card, when you package it, you put, a thank you for purchasing or thank you. It's equally involved in direct costs. All right. Now, another one is labor. Labor costs. This is the cost of making the garment, your time, or you paid somebody. And how do you calculate it? You either go by hourly or you have a fixed cost per price, especially if you're working with tailors. Now, let's say you employed a tailor that makes clothes for you, and you guys finally agree that one dress should cost you, that you will be paying that tailor one dress, let's say 5,000 naira. All right. So that 5,000 naira becomes your labor cost. Yes. And if you're paying that person per hour and it takes that person maybe 6 hours to make one dress, and per hour you're paying that person 900 naira or 1,000 naira, multiply that 1,000 times the hours it took to make that cloth. So that is your labor. Now we have gotten our direct labor, we have gotten our our direct cost, we have gotten our labor cost. The final cost that involves in this making of this dress is overhead costs. Overhead costs per clothes or per share. Maybe you've shared it among the dress. Now, the overhead costs we are talking about are costs that keep your business running. It's not tied to that garment, that one garment, but spreads across the entire production. When we're talking of electricity bills, these are overhead costs. We are talking of radio, TV stations, these are overhead costs. We are talking about your space. Maybe you have shop or you rented a space. These are overhead costs. And we're talking of water, we're talking of your machines, and equally marketing, advertising, these are overhead costs. So in every dress you want to sell, 3 costs are what you're to list. 1, direct costs, the material, the thread, the zip, the button. The second one is labor. How much did you pay to make that dress? The third one is your overhead cost, which is for the house, the buildings, and for the machines. Any expenses. Majority of overhead expenses are spread. Maybe if you target it monthly, this is how much it takes for overhead. You divide it in all your clothes. So when you divide it, you get your total cost of production. Now let's put some examples in place so you see how you list them. This is an example, all right, how your costing sheet should look like, okay? Now, those 3 costs that I've explained before, here is where it comes in. Now, in your cost sheet, that particular dress you want to sell, first thing is to get the actual cost of that dress. And for you to get the actual cost, this is how you place it. The fabric and materials you use in making that dress cost, for example, 1,100 naira. Now, the person that made it for you, or maybe your tailor, what you pay your tailor for one dress is 500 naira, is 1,400 naira. That is labor cost. The overhead cost is electricity, internet, for your space, that particular dress, it's that dress share. I said overhead cost, you share it like in a month. If electricity and space rent and everything costs about 150, you divide it by the number of clothes you sell in a month, or you make number of clothes you make in a month. So let's say you have shared it and this dress is getting 500. The total per dress is 3,000. And this means this 3,000 is your break-even cost. Anything above this 3,000 naira is profit. Now you have gotten how to calculate how much your dress really costs. That is what we have done. How to calculate how much is the cost of that dress. The next thing we need to calculate is how do I multiply it, or how do I add profits? All right, that is the next stage you're in. Now we have 3,000 naira as our cost. Now, one of the methods you can use to, get the right price to sell your dress, one of the method is called markup method. That is the traditional fashion way, where you multiply your cost, that 3,000 naira, you either multiply it by 2 or you multiply it by 3. So if you have 3,000 naira, all right, as your cost, you multiply it by 2. Now, if you're selling direct to the consumer, you can multiply it up to 3. That means that instead of that 3,000 being the cost, what you'll be selling will be 9,000 naira. Now, if you're selling to retailers, maybe you're a wholesaler and you're selling to people that will resell, you can, decide to go by multiplying it by 2. Now, if your brand is about luxury, you can multiply it up to 10. That 3,000 naira, you can decide to multiply it up to 10. But these are things you need to put into consideration in your multiplication. If you're multiplied by 2, by 3, by 10, look at what you're selling. What is what you're selling? Is it luxury? Is it wholesale? Or you're giving out direct to customer? Direct to customer, you can multiply up to 2, 2.5, 3. But if you're selling wholesale, you have to go less so that the person you're selling to will be able to sell. But if you're selling luxury in terms of quality, your material is top notch. People that sell luxury, some of them go up to Turkey direct to get their quality fabrics. So your luxury has to be top notch. The fabric has to be top notch, the finishing, everything top notch, the ironing top notch. So when you're going for luxury, you can multiply up to 10. So that 3,000 naira, you can say times 10. That is 30,000 naira. All right? Or times 5. It is your choice. Okay? So this ensures you cover cost and leave room for profit. Another method for your price setting is value-based pricing. Sometimes the value of your product to the customer is not it's not just when you plus your actual cost, then you use plus the markup method we did earlier. No. Value-based pricing focuses on what the customer is willing to pay. Now, there are people that use this method. There are some class of customer that will come to your shop. You feel like these people have money, let me take that money from them. All right? Or you feel maybe, especially when scarcity of goods, you see, this particular goods is scarce, you increase your price. They are willing to pay more for that good. They are willing to pay more because they have no choice and they value that product. It is like they need it. Okay, now let's use for example, all right, you have a plain cotton t-shirt that costs 500 naira. Now, if you sell it as just a t-shirt, maybe 1.5, it is fair. But if it is branded, or maybe Now let's take for example that Tiwa Savage or Davido or even Wizkid or Burna Boy now have a clothing brand because it's a Davido brand, because it's a Tiwa Savage brand. Definitely, these dresses cannot be sold as cheap as other dress. That is where value comes in. They are not the same. Now, this is why it is higher. All right, now for this strategy to work, it requires strong branding, strong storytelling, and customer loyalty. Davido cannot sell your any shirt cheap. No, like when you walk up to Zara shop to buy dresses, you know how expensive. So these are value based pricing uh, clothing lines. Okay, psychological pricing tricks that work in fashion. Fashion buyers are emotional, seriously. Now, there are so many of their tricks. One is charming price. Instead, maybe your dress costs 10,000 naira to sell. You put it 99,999,999. So these are one of the ways. Another thing is prestige pricing, round number. All right, maybe after calculating the cost of the dress, okay, for example, and it is about 1,999. You say, okay, let me just round it up, all right, to 2,000. So these are some of the things, tricks in fashion pricing. Another thing is tiered pricing, offering maybe three options. You have basic, premium, luxury, just for people of all class to be able to buy it. And another thing is bundle. Those that sell wholesalers, they'll tell you buy two for 400 instead of 500, and that means each is 250. So these are the ways, and discount strategies. Okay, these are the ways you that determines your price. These strategies can boost sale or lower your actual profit margin. I'm trying as much as I can to make this video, not to be too long. So let's hit the um different brands and how you can price your, set your prices. Number one, I'll be starting with is made to order. That is custom made. Custom made prices are high. Your price, if your aspect of fashion is when someone makes order, you make it, it is high. It is not the same with someone that has already produced to sell. Now your price can be higher because it is custom made, and the customers equally expect premium prices. Okay, that is why you see some designers, they make one dress, they'll tell you 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. It is the aspect of fashion they are. So if you're in custom made area, which is made to order, your price will has to be high. Now let's take for example that the total cost, definitely if you're custom made, your total cost cannot be the same with ready to wear. So your cost will equally differs, not just the price. Okay, if you're going for custom made fashion brand, it has to be quality in every area. You and somebody on a ready to wear area business cannot have the same cost for one particular dress. It is not possible. So if your price is higher, your cost equally is higher because you have to give top-notch quality products to your consumers. Then for the ready to wear, that is where it comes in. For ready to wear, your price has to be competitive. Yes. Focus on bulk sales with standard markup method. Now, I explained earlier that if your cost is 3,000 naira, as a ready to wear, you can decide to say, okay, let me go for times two, okay, or you can decide to go for even less than times two self of the price, especially if you have people that sell bulk, that buy in bulk from you. The same thing with wholesalers. People that specialize in only wholesale, they reduce their prices. If you're all about wholesale, your price will be lower, all right? Because you sell in volume, not per dress. And you need to sell cheap so the retailers will be able to add profit to it and sell. Then let's talk about luxury. If your brand is about luxury designers and all that, your price is about exclusively and brand perception. Yes, your price has to be exclusively expensive. What you say is not just for anyhow person, it's not just for, students, it's not just for people that are managing. It is luxury. Where you sell a bag to 5 million, just an handbag, a small handbag, they tell you it's 5 million. It is luxury. Okay, now if you're in that category of luxury, you can times your cost, your break-even cost, your original cost of that product times 5, times 10. All right, if you decide, it's your choice. Okay, but bear in mind that when it comes to luxury, the price is what makes it luxury, because that same quality can be gotten somewhere else at a more moderate price. But the price is what makes it luxury, and the brand is what makes it luxury. The brand is known for luxury. So if this bag has this name, this brand name on it, therefore it must be luxury. So it is brand that makes it luxury, and the price equally makes it luxury. Now, another area is fast fashion, low margins, high volume. Especially, I don't know if you've those that have been to Aba, those kind of fashion is a fast fashion. They make clothes in, one style will be cut in multiple, in so many volumes or quantity. Okay, so these people can, easily sell in a reduced price. Okay, now you should know that your pricing strategy should match the kind of fashion business you're doing. You cannot be doing ready to wear and you're charging like somebody that is into custom made. So you need to know where you are in determining your price. Before concluding, let's just look at some of the common mistakes we made when setting our prices. One of them is ignoring overhead costs. Those packaging line on, when you calculate all these things, you forget some of them. All right. Another thing is copying competitors blindly. No be everything you go to copy. It's not everything you will be copying. Now, underpricing to attract customers, that is the wrongest thing you ever do. When you underprice your product, your ready to wear, they will believe it is not quality, that it is cheap. That means the quality, maybe the fabric you use in making it will not have quality. So don't for any reason reduce your price or underprice it. Maybe the total cost of you making it is 3,000. You decide to go for 3,500. You'll be the one to suffer. Do not try for any reason. Make sure that your profit is times 2. The minimum you can go, it is times 2. If your cost of making the dress is 3,000 naira, please, the minimum you can take for that dress is times 2. Okay, so not considering wholesale. If you're into ready to wear, consider wholesale. If they come, grab it like there's no tomorrow. Now, no profits. No. Do not for any reason make any sales without profit, even if it's for discount. All these discounts you see, they are making profits. You can go for discount, but make sure you're making profit. It is very, very important. Okay, so let me just give an example. All right, how you should run your ready to wear business. How to set your price. Now let's use specifically for ready to wear business. If your cost of making one particular gown is 3,000 naira, please make sure you multiply it times 2. Out of experience, 1, when you go below 2, there is every possibility they will think that what you're selling is of low quality. So for no reason should you go below 2. Now let's specify on ready to wear. Ready to wear, when your cost is 3,000 naira, multiply it by 2, that is the minimum. You multiply it by 3, Now, there are so many unforeseen circumstances that comes across in businesses, and that is why you need to multiply it. You don't just say, let me just add 1,000. No. There are times government taxes that have not been in existence will come in that you need to pay. There are times when the fabrics will destroy that you need to, redesign, get another one to replace them. There are unforeseen circumstances that you cannot tell when or where it will come. Therefore, when you get your total cost of you making that dress, multiply it by 3. The day I decided multiplying by 3, I started seeing profits. Any tailor that is not making money is because they consider maybe if the cost is 3,000, ma just collect 4,000, at least I have 1,000 naira. No. Like capital no. I wish I could. There are so many things I want to say, but I'm trying not, to make this video to be too long. It is important that you make sure the profit you're making is not just to, even if it's for my transport, carry that mentality and take it out of your mind. Not for any reason should your dress, your ready to wear clothes, or maybe you're making custom, you're a tailor, whatever in fashion niche, in fashion area, you consider your profit to the extent that it is not even up to the original cost. That is why you see so many tailors. So many tailors cannot even afford to move to the next level. They can't afford to upgrade because they've placed themselves in a level where they manage. See, when you start looking forward to customers that can afford you, those people that can afford you will start coming. When you start charging 50,000, 100,000, those people that can afford that money will start coming. But there is a but to it. You should be capable of delivering a dress worth 100,000 naira. You should be capable of giving a neat job. You should be if you're not, go and upgrade yourself to the standard that you need to upgrade your price. It is very important. Fashion designers, they are millionaires. They are making money. If you're not making money, it's because you're downpricing your clothing or your sewings. That is why you're not making money. So make sure when you get your cost price of that particular dress or whatever, multiply it by 3. That is the minimum you should go. That way, if there's any unforeseen circumstances, please, you will be able to face it. I remember when I charged somebody, just to make a simple gown, I charged that person, I think it's about 25,000 naira. She paid, but while I was making that dress, do you know, mistakenly, one of my assistants, the person that was weaving the dress, while weaving it, mistakenly cut the wrong place. That I have to go and buy the fabric again and start making it from afresh. At the end, I was able to get at least small profit out of it. But imagine I did not charge very well. What would I have done? Use my money to replace it? That is bad business. Charge well. Those that can afford you will come. If they can't, relax. It is better you make 10 clothes in a month and make profit that when you see it, you'll be smiling, than to make 50 clothes in a month, there is no profit. That is not business. So whatever is your cost price, multiply it by 3. The cheapest you can go is 2.5, not for any reason. Pricing your clothes for profit is not guesswork, it is strategy. Start by knowing your costs. Apply the right markup or value-based strategy, or use psychological techniques to boost sale. Now remember, your price are not just numbers. They are reflection of your brand, your quality and position. Whether you're running a small homemade fashion line or building the next big clothing brand, the goal is the same: profitability, sustainability. With realistic costing and effective pricing strategy, you will build a clothing business only survives, that does not only survive but thrives. Profitability and sustainability goes hand in hand. If there's no profit, you cannot sustain that business. Do not reduce your price for any reason. There must be profit. You must have profits, okay?